everyone. I'm Harshita Singh. It is so heartwarming to see alumni logging in not only from various parts of the country, but also from all across the globe, from Australia to Singapore, Dubai to US. We have alumni participation across all batches. I would like to welcome our dean, staff, and my fellow PGPM students, and our very special guests for tonight, the alumni. The PGPM program at SPJIMR has completed 15 years. We truly have come a long way. This journey would not have been the same without contributions from each and everyone present over here and in absentia. Over to you, Aditi.
So I'm sure you all miss the campus, and so do we. From attending classes in the beautiful campus to attending classes online, we've learned to navigate through change and take up challenges with courage and heart. Even though the 1 year at PGPM passes by quickly, yet it leaves behind memories that connects us as one big SPJIMR family, and I'm sure you all agree. So let's celebrate this milestone of 15 years today. And to start off, I'd like to hand over it to Harshit and Aditya.
Thanks, Aditi. Do we all remember our quiz taking experience? The anxiety, the preparation, the last minute discussions? No? So here we are for you. Welcome all to the PGPM quiz. Let us see how much you know about your alma mater.
Quiz? Aditya, what are the rules for this? Do we have backward navigation? Is it open book or a secured one?
Sure, Harshit, I'll tell you. It is going to be a replica of an e-coach quiz. No internet allowed, no backward navigation, no negative marking, and the best part, there would be a strict plagiarism check.
Whoa, this is scary. Nevertheless, we should go ahead with the quiz. So panelists, there would be a poll displayed on your screen, and you'll be given 15 seconds to answer each of the question. And question would have multiple choices. And in total, there would be 8 questions.
Wait, Harshit, what is the winning prize?
Yes. What about a ulti pulti and a jumbo paneer parantha at Chilu's?
Wow, that is one prize I would want to win.
So let's get rolling. Here's the first question for you. Is the poll visible? So
Yes.
the first question is, who was the first chairperson of our PGPM program? So your options are Professor Sunil Rai, Professor Ranjan Das, Professor Prem Chandrani, or Professor Suresh Lalwani. What do you think, Aditya?
This is a tough one, I guess. Many would get it wrong. Let's see the poll results. Oh, indeed, the results are very close, but the participants got it right. 42% got the right answer. It is A, Professor Sunil Rai. So let us go to the second question. Which specializations were initially offered when the PGPM program began in 2005? A, Finance and Marketing, B, Marketing and IM, C, Operations and IM, or D, IM and Finance? What do you feel, Harshit?
Do you think it has all the options?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Strange. 5 more seconds to go. So let's see the result. Whoa, 74% have guessed it right. So now we'll move on to the next question. So what is the tagline of the PGPM Conclave Samavesh? The first option is Business Academia Conclave. Second option is Industry Meets Academia. And the third option is Success Meets Succession. What do you feel, Aditya?
This is a tough one, I guess. Let us see the results. And we are wrong. The participants know better than us. Its correct answer, 79% got it right. It's B, Industry Meets Academia. So just to share a trivia about Samavesh. Samavesh is an annual conclave organized by the participants of PGPM. And Samavesh brings about together industry and academia to discuss contemporary business issues. And in the last 2019, we had participants from Swiggy and Mahindra and we hope to see you there next time. So let us go to the next question. Which year did international immersion begin for PGPM? A, 2010, B, 2011, C, 2012, or D, 2013? What do you feel, Arshit?
I guess this is an easy one. They should get it right.
Last 5 seconds. It was a close one indeed. But yes, majority got it right, 31%. 2012 is the right answer.
Just to share a small trivia about international immersion, like it started in 2012, and for the benefit of all of the previous batches. So it is a 3-week program that wherein the participants from PGPM go to the esteemed US colleges, which namely, the Michigan State, Cornell, and the Austin, Texas. Moving on to the next question.
Actually, the small sore point for you guys, right?
Yeah, actually, ma'am. This is what we are missing badly. So the next question is, which year did the PGPM become AICTE approved program? Your options are 2011, 2012, 2013, or 2014. What do you feel, Aditya? These are close options.
Very close options, I guess. Many will get it wrong. Let's see. Last 2 seconds. And yes, many did get it wrong. The answer is not 2011. It is D, 2014. A small thing about the program. When we were given the AICTE accreditation, we were told that we need to have a 15 months program, not a 12 months. So we introduced a 3 months web module also. So let us go to the next question. What is the name of the musical band formed by PGPM? A, Cutting Chai, B, Filter Coffee, C, B major, or D, D major? This is an easy one, right, Harshit?
Yes, I feel 90% would get it right. And you know, they're even performing today.
Oh, wow, waiting for that.
See, 93% of them have got it right. So here's general trivia about the band. The alumni of 2015 batch left this band name for the next batches. And even today, the PGDM batch have a band B major, and they're thinking of doing the same. And they will be leaving this for the next batches. Moving on to the next question. So what is the name of our new auditorium? Your options are Gyan Auditorium, Pran Ganga, Dr. M.L. Shirikant Auditorium, and RNCM Hall. What do you feel, Aditya?
I've been to this auditorium, Harshit. It is beautiful and very well made. I would strongly suggest every participant to visit that auditorium when they come to Mumbai next.
Actually.
So let us see the results. Oh, wow. 83% of the participants got it right. That is such a nice thing to see. So just a small trivia. The new auditorium was inaugurated in the loving memory of Dr. M.L. Shrikant on 23rd January 2020. So let us go to the last question of the quiz. There is a temple in our campus. Name the deity. A. Hanumanji, B. Lord Ram, C. Ganpatiji, or D. Lord Shiva. What do you feel, Harshit?
I don't know. I've never been to. Have you been to this temple?
Yes, I generally go to the mandir before my exams.
Whoa. So what's your GPA then?
Let us save that for another day, Harshit. Let us stop the results and let's see. Wow, 66% of the people got it right. Indeed, it is. Everyone must have visited this temple once. So this brings about to the end of our quiz. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this quiz. Results to be out soon.
So what we deduce from the results of the quiz, there are a lot of alumni who are not updated about our campus. So whenever next time you are in Mumbai, do visit us. A jumbo paneer paratha and a alti palti awaits you at Chilu's.
Thank you, Aditya and Harshit. That was an interesting quiz. You're right. Alumni need to visit us when they visit Mumbai next time.
We would now like to invite Dr. Ranjan Banerjee. A professor in marketing, he's a design thinker, an avid learner, and a board member of the GMAC and the United Nations Principles for Responsible Management Education. Sir, we would like you to say a few words. Over to you, sir.
Ranjan, you're on mute, I think.
Elementary mistake. Okay. First of all, let me, I see there are a total of 324 participants. So I must thank all the alumni for making this digital alumni meet such a big success. It is great to see all of you here. It is great to interact with all of you. The second thing that I will say is that, today is Teachers' Day. And, it is a good day to define what is a teacher. And to me, anybody you learn from is a teacher. And all of us will agree that as faculty, we have learned as much or more from you than you have learned from us. So on this day, let me wish all our students happy Teachers' Day, because all of you are our teachers. There is so much that we learn from the questions you ask, the experiences that you make. And honestly, as a teacher, your greatest success will be when your students do things that are far beyond what you could have imagined. And our students are always surprising us. So you are our teachers, and it's our pleasure to say Happy Teachers' Day to all of you. I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 things. I'm going to talk a little bit about your institute. You all know the institute, but I'm going to talk about what I think are 1 or 2 things that set our institute apart. I'm going to then talk a little bit about the directions which you will see happening for the institute, and briefly I will talk about some of my own memorable experiences with the PGPM program, and then I will hand over to other people who will speak. If you look at what makes SPJIMR different, whenever I speak to PGPM students, one of the things they say is that the image of the institute that they had, and then when they go through the program, the experience at the program is far superior to the expectation or the image that you have before you come to the program. And one of the things I think that sets SPJIMR apart, and I will break this up into 2. One is just the quality of the teaching. That we take teaching excellence really, really seriously. Unlike any other academic institute in India, we will not admit a strong researcher who is not a good teacher. So what is taught in our classrooms must be interactive, must be excellent. And the second is that for us, teaching is not a job, it is a calling. Now, what do I mean by that? I think one of the things that sets the institute apart, and you will see this across batches, is the time that our faculty spend with students outside the classroom. The nature of the faculty-student connection in SPJIMR is unlike any other institute I have ever been to in my life. I remember on my first week in SPJIMR, because I had spent quite a bit of time in the US, and I said, do we have teaching hours? And teaching hours are basically, hours you put up on your desk saying, hey, I'm going to be available for students for 3 hours, and these times students can come and visit me. And the faculty said, no, we don't have teaching hours because we are expected to be available for students whenever we are available. So whenever we are not teaching, we would like to be available. So that is one dimension of the culture at SPJIMR that we're talking about. One is the faculty-student connect. The second is the student-student connect. In terms of things like PG Lab, in terms of things like DOCC, in terms of things like your music band. So it is not about just the academic development of the student, but it's about developing the whole human being. And I think you will find this, that there is a down-to-earthness that characterizes SPJIMR. And I don't want to put this in a negative way, but one of the interesting things that one of the batches told me is that, sir, there are many in SPJIMR who have been abroad. There are many who have spent 10 years abroad. You will rarely find an SPJIMR alumnus with an American accent. And if somebody has an accent, please don't judge that. But I think it is something about not being put on. It is something about being down to earth. It is something about being grounded. It is something about let's figure out what it takes to get the job done. It is something about a lack of pretense, and this is important. The second aspect, I think, is the nature of our faculty. If you look at most institutes, a PhD is a mandatory requirement to be an academic in India today. If you look at SPJIMR, we have always said, you are a senior manager with Nirendra Pawar, who is heading the program today as an example. You have 20 years of experience in industry, you want to teach, come join us. Yes, please get a PhD in the next 6 years, and he's under some pressure there. But I guess the larger point that we are saying there is, you know, the faculty who are teaching in our institute are people who have actually been there and done that. So what is taught in our classrooms is current. There is currency of theory, there is currency of practice. And so these are things that have differentiated the SPJIMR experience. And I think you will find that because of that, honestly, the affection that our alumni have for us is much deeper. There are many, many memories. And I think this is one part of what we are saying. The second part of what we are saying is, how does the institute move forward, and what are the priorities for us? How do we become a better institute? You know, this is a time of lockdown, but I don't want to talk too much about infrastructure, but you should know, if you have not been to the campus, that we have doubled our physical infrastructure. There is a 7-story building that has been added to your institute. There is a whole student hostel that has been added to your institute. We always had a lake. Now we have a lake that looks and feels like a lake. We have seating near the lake. So, you know, people can actually sit near the lake and overlook the lake. There is a fountain with lighting that plays near the lake. It is actually, it's not just the photographs. I mean, you can have 10 photographs to make any campus look good. It is a really beautiful campus. And there is a lot we have done on that front. The other thing is that if you look at the institute, we were always very strong on teaching. We were not that strong on research. And research is a new direction which we are building a lot on. Incidentally, in 2015, we had 40 faculty in the institute. 40 full-time faculty. Any guesses? How many faculty do we have in the institute? You can put it on the chat. Okay. 70 to 80 is a good guess. We are getting there, guys. 63 at last count. But we are actively recruiting. The target is to be at 80 full-time. I'm not talking about adjunct. We have another 20 adjunct, but to be at 80 full-time. So this is really talking about an institute that is doubling its faculty strength. We have built a strong position in design thinking, and I will talk about that little bit later, because that is part of my position part of it in terms of my own experiences with PGPM. But let me also talk 3 or 4 things with regard to the future. First, with regard to the institute. And I think this is a difficult time for all of us, including our alumni, because, you know, one thing that has critically changed is that if you look at the job situation 15 years back, it was possible that there would be a company called Unilever or a company called Tata Steel or a company called TCS, where you could join the company and say, I will go all the way up to CEO. So you could look at 20-year lifespans in a company. Today, that average lifespan of an employee in a company has gone down significantly. Not only that, I believe there is no corporate on the planet that can give you job security. There is no corporate on the planet that can offer you 10 years, 15 years job security. Now, what does it imply for you as students? It means the largest security comes from employability and lifelong learning. And that is one of the directions in which you will see the institute go, which is that we will be doing a lot more to build innovative education products for alumni. And irrespective of what we do, since we have, I would guess, 250 plus alumni on this chat, one message that is very clear from my side is, please look at education the way you look at food and clothing. You have an annual budget for food. You have an annual budget for clothing. Do you have an annual budget for your own learning? And if you want to stay employable and ahead of the game, you have to have an annual budget for your own learning. And our campuses, SPJIMR, will have to create offerings for you where we help you figure out how you're going to learn and continue learning on an ongoing basis. The second is the nature of management education itself is changing. We basically designed our management education for what I call the manufacturing organization, where there is a function called operations, a function called information management, a function called finance, a function called marketing. Today, we are moving to the digital organization where technology is no longer a function. Technology is embedded in everything that you do. So how do we repurpose our management education for the digital organization of tomorrow? And how do you repurpose yourself? Because you have to move from functional to general, but much more important, you know, the ability to see connections in the world around you is going to be far more important. We had Mr. Deepak Parekh speaking to our faculty around a couple of months back, and one of the things he mentioned is that there are 4 crises in India today. There is a financial crisis, there is an economic crisis, there is a social crisis, and there is a health crisis. Now, the financial crisis and the economic crisis concern business, but where did it all start? It started with a health crisis. So the fact that these 4 ecosystems are linked and the ability of tomorrow's leaders to see the linkages between these ecosystems becomes critical. So, and that leads to my PGPM, one of my biggest PGPM memories in 2015. Anybody from the 2015 batch which graduated in 2016, January, February is on this chat? There must be quite a few. When we launched design thinking in SPJIMR, the very first batch for which we did design thinking, the program was done by myself and Professor Suranjan Das. It was done at the sports center that is just outside the campus, because we needed to have one class of 100 plus students, and we didn't have one class where we could have 100 plus students and group work, right? Because we needed all those students spread out. So myself and Professor Suranjan Das did the very first course, and you will be happy to know that you are the pioneers, because design thinking is now taught in every program in the institute. And the next step for design thinking is, just as Stanford has a D school, SPJIMR will have a D school. SPJIMR has also started a Center for Financial Services. We are going to have a Bloomberg lab. The terminals have been bought. So we are doing more things to be more and more current. There is already a design thinking lab. So today a company which wants to do a design thinking and innovation workshop with us can actually come to the institute and build prototypes in the lab. Okay, post-COVID, of course. But all of this is being set up. So what we are trying to do is take your campus further and further and take the program further and further. The second is the PGPM program. And I think one of the things that perhaps we can rightly say is that the quality of infrastructural support we need to give for placements of the PGPM program has not been what we should have done. And today we have augmented the placement team significantly. We have Professor Shabir, who's there, who's handling placements on behalf of the program. He's a very, very bright and promising guy. We expect a lot of things from him, and I'm putting no pressure. And there is this gentleman called Bhishma. Now, Bhishma Chugani was an ISB alum, but much more importantly, he handled placements for ISB. And he comes in and he's going to be leading placements for the PGPM program, because what we realize and are moving to is that if you look at placements, PGDM placement is what I call mass manufacturing, where people are recruiting in bulk. PGPM placement is what I call custom manufacturing, where you are looking of ready-made. You have to understand the profile, match the profile. This is a tough year, but we are building upon that. And I think the direction there is, as an institute, we will have a 4-city placement structure, which means that we will have placement people in the major metros, because we really need to look at this at a larger level. The second element of this is, as an institute, we had talked 5 years back about something called Mission 100, even if we make it Mission 50, which is essentially saying that when we look at a large corporate, management institutes in India have typically approached large corporates with what I would call a मेन्यू कार्ड अप्रोच. मेरे पास प्लेसमेंट है, मेरे पास इंटर्नशिप है, मेरे पास विजिटिंग फैकल्टी है, मेरे पास पीपीटी है, आपको क्या खरीदना है? Move away from that and go back to companies and go to senior management and say, what are your needs? What are your challenges? How can I help you? How can I connect with a company in a non-transactional way and do consulting, do research, do case studies, do faculty immersion, and put that all together such that you are building the brand with the company, and placements become a consequence of a relationship and not the end goal of the relationship. Now that is the direction where we have to purpose the organization to work. So it means a different type of interaction. And what is the role of the alumni? You are the guys who have to help us go to those corporates. You have to help our students prepare, but you have to help bridge between, if we have to take the program to the next level, it is you as the alumni who are ambassadors, and it is together that we will do this. If we want, the institute is already a top 5 Talkspace University institute. Every tongue we jump from here on is going to be more difficult. We cannot do it unless we work as a team. We cannot do it unless there is a larger extended family of faculty, staff, and alumni, and we are working together to build our institute. And that is the spirit in which I'm talking. The final thing is I would like to leave you with an anecdote. I don't know whether the student is there, but there is an experience that I had with a PGPM student. If the student is there in the audience, I thank you in advance. But I would just like to say that this student, to my mind, is a leader in the making. So a PGPM batch has passed out. It is December, January, and I'm sitting in my room. A student who's somewhat familiar, but I cannot place the name. I know he's PGPM, but I can't place all 240 students or all 400 students by name, So he comes, knocks on my door and says, I want to spend 5 minutes with you. I say, fine. He says, you don't remember my name, that's okay. I'm in your PGPM class. I have attended 6 of your classes and 4 of your speeches. I just wanted to tell you that many of the things you say impact us deeply. I just want to say thank you for the difference that you make. And then he closed the door, got up and went. That's all he did. He came to my room for 2 minutes just to give me that thank you message. It was a completely heartfelt thank you message. That is the spirit of this batch. That is the relationship we have. And on Teachers' Day, there is nothing more that we can ask for. If we believe that we have made a small difference to each of you in some way, and if you take that difference and you succeed and you make a difference to others, that is the greatest gift. I wish you all the best. I look forward to meeting you on campus. And I don't know if I've exceeded my time, but thank you so much for being with us. And I'm looking forward to listening to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Listening to you always inspires us. In today's world, when all our meetings, classes, work has moved online, our PGPM alumnus, the participants of 2020 have taken their music from 4 walls too. We bring to you a captivating performance on tabla by our very talented alumnus, Shubham Jaina from the class of 2018. The melodious song is sung by the current participants, Pranay, Anubhav and Vishnu.
मंजूर क्या कीजिए किस्मत को है मंजूर क्या कीजिए किस्मत को है मंजूर क्या कीजिए मिलते रहे हम बादस्तूर क्या कीजिए दिल कह रहा उसे मुसलसल कर दिया वो जो रुकी सी राह बाकी है वो जो रुकी सी चाह बाकी है वो जो रुकी सी चाह बाकी है वो जो रुकी सी चाह बाकी है
Wow, that was a marvelous performance. We would now like to invite the chairman of the PGPM program, Professor Neelendra Singh Pawar. He has more than 20 years of industry experience in diverse fields and also does consulting for various manufacturing companies. He is also a faculty in the supply chain management specialization. We request you, sir, to tell us more about the program. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Piku. First of all, I must say it's a very warm feeling to see such a large number of alumni and our own current SPJIMR family members turn up for the event. I think it's made me feel really good to associate with so many people on such a milestone. And I think in last 15 years, as you know, we had very humble beginnings. The program started in 2005 with 47 students and 2 specializations. I think we have come a long way. Our batch is currently around 140 to 120 students. It varies year to year. We have 4 specializations. And on the way, we have picked up accreditations. We got AMBA in 2009 and we got ACSB recently in 2018. And we had NAICT, as you guys would have guessed in the quiz, accreditation in 2014. So I think we've come a long way and become much stronger as a program. And there are a whole lot of people who played their role in this journey. Besides all the staff, I think Professor Sunil Rai was who started off this thing. Then we had Dr. Indu Niranjan, late Dr. Indu Niranjan, who held the program together for quite some time. Followed by 2 of my predecessors who are here. I would like to them to say hi. Professor Suresh, who has built the program significantly. Suresh sir, are you here? I mean, many of you would be looking forward to see you. Yeah, Suresh sir is already here. I think, and he was followed by Professor Prem Chandrani. Prem sir,
Neelendra, just 1 second. Suresh ji, you'll have to say hello, otherwise the spotlight won't come on you.
Okay. Hi guys, so nice to see all of you. I'm so extremely overjoyed to see all of you. My good wishes. God bless you.
Yeah. And then we had Professor Prem Chandrani. I'm not sure. Prem, sir, are you around? So, yeah, so Professor Prem was here, and I have actually taken over from Professor Prem Chandrani last year. And all these are pretty big shoes to fill. And she'll be taking ahead the good work they have done. And before I start what I want to share with you guys, I would also want to introduce my fellow associate program head, Professor Shabir. Shabir here. Shabir, we want to say hi to them.
Hello, everyone. So good to see all of you here.
Yeah. So Shabir and I are both pretty new to the program. I'm probably a year old. Shabir has joined recently, and Shabir would be looking after industry interactions, alumni relations, as well as placements. So he would surely be reaching out to quite a few of you for support, and we look forward to gaining the same from you. And there are only a couple of things I want to talk about. I think the program over the last few years has come up significantly. We have made lots of changes in academic curriculum, the calendar, the way some of the courses are structured. So I think placement is one big area where we are trying to change a whole lot of things, as Ranjan has already mentioned. We have significantly strengthened our placement team. Besides Abbas, you would already know Abbas earlier. We have Bhishmu and Professor Shabir, Almas and Sabita. So we've got a pretty strong placement team here. And with the plans ahead, we would be looking forward to strengthening it further, of course, with your support. And in terms of placements, also, we have had significant improvement in the type of companies which we're recruiting here. PGPM by default has become a consulting heavy batch. I'm not sure whether it was always like that. Around 40% of our students end up becoming consultants. And we've got the usual suspects, the KPMG, PwC, Accenture, Deloitte, Capgemini, O9 Solutions, JDA, standard consulting firms who come here. Recently we are having Flipkart, Swiggy e-commerce or Udan. So there's a lot of focus towards e-commerce firms as well. So we look forward to getting smarter, better companies onto the campus, and Shabir and the team would be reaching out to you so that you can help them in introducing to the team to the right people so that we can strengthen the program further. Another thing I want to touch upon is the alumni contribution to this progress of the program. I think we have a huge alumni base, and it's very possible we have not been able to get in touch with a whole lot of you. But let me assure you, alumni have been working pretty closely with us, especially for the last 2-3 years. And there are two clear areas of contribution I want to bring out. The first one is the shaping our curriculum. So every year we have we get feedback from 2 or 3 most recent batches. Most commonly, it's 2 last batches who have passed out, and we either call them on, some of them on the campus, or send out a questionnaire or collect feedback through phones. And we use that to restructure our courses, because these guys are out there in the industry and they also remember what they learned. And they sometimes tell us that some courses are really helpful, some really need to be changed. In some courses, the order need to be changed. So all that feedback comes in. So for example, like the DOCC project. So we used to have a 1-week-long DOCC project where people would travel to a location, do a DOCC project and come back. And a lot of time was wasted probably in traveling. So with our alumni suggestions, now what we have done, DOCC project is a 2-month long, 1 to 2 month long engagement where a person stays with the organization in parallel with the work. So they go there once in a week and keep working with the organization, and they're able to do deeper work, and there is greater amount of sensitization to the underprivileged that gets created. As we speak now, I think we are getting feedback on how to change our web learning sessions. So there's a feedback to move away from package sessions to a Zoom-based learning during the first 3 months of the program. There are suggestions. We are getting some feedback on how to restructure our general elective phase. So there is a whole lot of feedback which recent alumni give us on how to restructure our courses. In addition, we also call some of you would have been to campus on the advisory council and giving feedback. And there was one held pretty recently where we got some very good inputs on what changes should be made in the program. So thank you for that. And second big area where alumni help us out is in the area of placement support. And there also, there are 2 things. One is a lot of our alumni conduct mock interviews for the students to help them practice the interview sessions and kind of build some kind of confidence and clarity of thoughts. They also do one-on-one mentoring to the current students. So based on the profile, we map some students to the alumni, and they kind of guide them on what kind of careers will be more suitable given their background. I think one thing we need to do, and with Ratika's and the alumni committees help we would do, is broaden this effort. We would like to have more of you involved, and probably in more processes. And this morning we're having a conversation whether we can involve alumni in admissions processes. They can probably give significant inputs in admitting the right profile of students. So we look forward to working with a wider base of alumni and also in more number of areas. And we'll be very happy to get your inputs on this. My email ID is there on the website. Just feel free to drop a mail to me or to anybody in the program. We'll be very, very happy to receive your inputs on that. Just one more thing I want to talk about is as Dr. Ranjan mentioned about the campus infra development. I think this had been a sore point for some time, but past few years have seen significant focus on the infrastructure development. As he mentioned, we have a new academic block. It's a beautiful academic building, a new hostel, and all PGPM students are housed in, all the male students are housed in the new hostel. It's very nicely built facility. And there are plans to add more facilities in the future as well. And I think it'll be a good idea if I can just take you through some photographs just to give you an idea. Ratika, can somebody share the sharing rights with me, please? the host.
Yeah, Kavita, I don't think Nilendra sir has the sharing rights.
Yeah, thanks. I've just got it. Thank you. Can you guys see the screen? Yeah, thanks. So we'll take you through some photos and I'll just talk you through some of the pictures, and you can probably compare them to the campus when you were here, and I'm sure you'll find some changes for the better. This is one of the classrooms which you have. So all the classrooms are built like this, very nicely done up classrooms. And they've got pretty strong AV equipment, which are controlled through a touch screen on the podium. So the faculty can manage that equipment through a podium. We've got very good third-party support who helps us manage these things well. These are a couple of other photographs of the new building classrooms. All the PGPM classes are held in the new building itself. And this is a group work room where our students come together to discuss case studies, simulations, and other things. So this large area is essentially meant for the group work. This is our new library. This is the books area section of the new library we moved into last year. Again, a very nicely developed place and a great environment to sit quietly and do your readings. These are again the seating areas of the new library itself. This is the new auditorium. I think we're mentioning the Dr. M. Srikant auditorium, which was inaugurated recently. It's a 500-seat auditorium, very nice facility. So with this, we have two auditoriums. A smaller one, earlier one is maintained for smaller sessions, and for larger audiences, we use this auditorium. It's really a world-class facility. Right, and also the area around the campus has been done up quite well. So it's a very pleasant experience to just take a walk in the campus. There's a lot of landscaping which is done around the lake. This is the pathway. I think the photo has been taken with the back to the lake, and this is a sitting area. It's a nice place to sit in the evening and just be and relax there. And the buildings you see at the back are, of course, the student hostels and the faculty residences, and the green patch in the middle is the place where our students play soccer and sometimes make a lot of noise too late in the night. So it's got floodlights and everything, so people have a lot of fun, much at my expense. I stay right next to the field. So this is a nice pathway. This is another view. So this is the kind of walkways there all around the lake, and other areas also have been done up quite well. So I think the campus is extremely beautiful, and I think for the first time we are doing justice to the quality institute that we are by building a campus which is commensurate with our reputation. And I would love you guys to come here and spend some time in the campus and catch up with all of us. So whenever you're in Mumbai, there's a standing invitation. Do come down, meet us, meet your juniors, the current batches, meet our faculty and experience the campus. Okay, and I think my time would be up by now, so I'll stop now. And if you have any suggestions, once again, feel free to email to us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was great to know how our program has evolved in the last 15 years. Dear guests, for the next part, we have a treat for you. They say a person just needs two things to be happy in the world: something to hope for and someone to love. And this becomes more important in these current tough times. Our 6 alumni have collaborated from 6 different states to create this one music that celebrates love and hope. Presenting before you the very own band of PGPM, the Cutting Chai.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in reverse, when the tears come streaming down your face, when you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste, could it be worse? Lights will die नीचे इश्क है ऊपर रब है इन दोनों के बीच में सब है नीचे इश्क है ऊपर रब है इन दोनों के बीच में सब है एक नहीं सौ बातें कर लो सौ बातों का एक मतलब है से मीठा इश्क इश्क इमली से खट्टा इश्क वादा ये पक्का इश्क इश्क धागा ये कच्चा इश्क
That was a captivating performance by our band. We now invite Dr. Suranjan Das, Group Head and Professor of Quantitative Methods and Design Thinking, to tell us more about the launch of the program. I believe these stories have not been heard by many. Over to you, sir.
Biko, I'm going to come in between SD before my dear friend Mr. Ranjan Das comes in. I know he's a very popular professor. Every single student has gone through his really tough quizzes. I think I just thought I'll kind of share this with the attendees and guests today, that not only was he part of the founding team when spent a lot of time, he was also, as I hear, and I stand corrected, the first chairperson of PGPM. And I thought it was important to mention, Biku, sorry, I took over. SD, all yours.
Hey, thanks, Atika. Good evening to all of you here registered from this part of the world, and good morning to those who have registered, from the eastern states, US, Europe. So this is an uncut version. I think I have been given 4 minutes. Let me try and see if I can get into the time slot. Yeah. So this is an uncut version of the PGPM program, 2004 August. So I had a conversation with my Guruji. He's a professor and he's my teacher. And so he said he was starting the PGPM or the PGPX one-year program elsewhere. And we had this discussion, why not start in this place? And then I realized, an adult rhino and a baby elephant both look more or less the same size. What do I mean? The adult rhino was the ISB, which was already there for a couple of decades. And here is I am Ahmedabad starting a PGPX program, which is almost like a baby elephant because the amount of time, effort, faculty resources, money which they've devoted. It looked like a baby elephant. And then and the baby elephant guy was telling me, hey, Suranjan, why don't you also start at yes, very good. So I thought I will be the cheetah, the agile cheetah in between these two animals. So that was kind of a conversation we have had, and we started in August, just after Ganpati of 2004. Long back, and half of you were maybe in school. We started that way. And then 8 months of effort. Effort was very, very interesting. All of you are alums, so you must be seeing the tree, which is next to the auditorium. I would say auditorium for you guys because you haven't seen the new auditorium, right? Many of you wouldn't. Next to the auditorium, there's a tree right in front of wing A. So one of the faculty meetings, the meeting with the budget committee, and that time budget committee had everyone, including all area heads, was held outside. It was a morning, it was a cloudy morning, so faculty members along with Dr. Shrikant, we all met over there. And by the way, that place had 3 meetings, and I realized that every time I was meeting there, it was easy for me to get my minutes passed, my approval points passed quicker than meeting at the DCR. And once, of course, we had lovely tea and all of those snacks coming with it. And I still remember it was those 3rd meeting where we decided that 5.53 lakhs. And by the way, that piece of paper is still with me. It was the first fees of the first program, 5.53 lakhs. Then it was, and then hurriedly, because the chai and the coffee and the pakora came, I got it immediately signed by the program head and the team, and Dr. Srikanth also signed, and very quickly everyone signed and closed the deal, and the pakora continued beyond the 5.53. I was happy for that. And I think for a few years, we continued with 5.53 lakhs. All right. Then it was the time for people to come in. 324 students, aspirants registered for the program, 324, of which, there was something like if you go to the railway stations, you will find a lot of people, they're coming by the local train and then they jump over to the long distance train. So local train, long distance train jump is a nice algorithm. I use that. So 181 applications from the PGDM program who were not selected in PGDM program, I pulled out that, and of course I had much more from 500-600. From there I selected 181 who were senior, who looked senior, behaved senior. And by the way, we have interviewed them, right? The advantage is that I had their interview marks. So then I quietly moved all those files from a local train to the long distance train called PGPM. And 143 application was an open application. 324 we started with it, and in Nilendra we had 49 joining in. And 1 student was unwell and 1 of them left. You are absolutely right. Eventually 47 is the score, perfect. So that's how we started the program. And this was the uncut version till we joined. But one very interesting thing is that if my memory serves me right, there were 2 guys who were selected, for both the PGDM program and the PGPM program. And I think one of them was Chakrapani or something like that. I don't know if that guy is here in the group. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I could be horribly mistaken, So my adipose tissues are all over the place, and my mind is like getting fogged with age. But 2 guys, PGDM program, PGPM program, got both offers, joined my PGPM program. That was a kicker. And I had to give a treat to the PGDM chairperson, who incidentally was Sunil Rai. I heard Sunil being mentioned. He was the chairperson, but that time he was the chairperson of the PGDM program, and he was helping me for the IM, courses and sessions and placements. And Malini, whose room was just opposite mine, Latadi's room, and Malini was looking into the operations management. She was the area head operations. Sunil was the area head for the PGPM, and both of them are supporting me in my role as a chairperson of the program. And that was very interesting. So this is the prelude. Uncut version, picture released. Then picture got released. How? 944 millimeters of rain. Mumbai, 26 July. That morning was the inauguration. 11 o'clock. That morning was the inauguration. Right? The rest is, of course, is history. There's so many things that happened, and I was getting called. There's a first student, who was stuck at Nerul. Someone lost the certificates got damaged. Students got injured who were coming for the program. That day they were stopped midway, various places, and it was like hell. I don't have to say much. But what was very interesting is that I will fast forward a little bit, and then I'll come back. A background. Flashback. The fast forward is we had the inauguration 3 days later on 29th of July afternoon, 3 p.m. at Dome 2. And Dr. Srikanth said he wasn't climbing stairs for a couple of years, for quite some time. He said, no, of course, Suranjan, Dome 2 is perfectly all right. Because there was some problem. What was the problem? The entire auditorium, the old auditorium was soggy and soiled, and we couldn't do anything there. So he climbed up, and then we started the inauguration. And prior to the inauguration that morning, he said, so okay, these are the minutes, and so we'll be speaking. I said, no, get your taxi driver. Get your taxi driver for the inauguration. Now, what is this? I'll go back, flashback, three days flashback. MH01J 624 is a premier Padmini. The old Purana Khatara, and this guy Tiwari. And on 26th of July, my wife was not feeling well. She was in the office at Worli, but she left around 12:31 or something like that. She was slightly feverish. And then this taxi driver, taxi took her to Bandra. And then by the time half the taxi was, underwater. And then she walked for till 2 o'clock in the night, close to around 14 hours she walked. And until around 2 a.m. She was picked up. She went underwater and very close to our institute at Ganesh Chowk under almost 5 feet 8 inches water. And the taxi driver walked with her, carrying her purse, carrying her file on his head, giving her company the entire 14 hours. And both of them were picked up by Shiv Sena people and PGDSM MIT students. And only one message which I got in the middle of the night at 1 o'clock was this message that I said, I am at a rescue center, Shiv Sena. So the 6 students of PGDSM MIT, when they saw me almost half swimming, I said, I'll go out to rescue. They came with me. And the taxi, and eventually to cut the story short, the taxi driver, he did not want to come. I said, no, you will aap ghar mein aiye, Tiwari ji. Yeah, I brought him home. He stayed for the next 3 days with us. And then the next day when I told Dr. Shikhar, next day, he said, no, that taxi driver has to tell what he did. And because it espouses the values of this institute. And I want to be associated with that guy, with Tiwari ji, of course. And then when in the morning I knew, and afternoon I came back quickly for a lunch, and Tiwari ji was having lunch here at my house. I told him several times. He said, no, Sahaba, main nahi jaunga. Of course, then he went off. So this is his role in it. And then Dr. Shikhar said, I will not say anything. Please narrate this entire incident, because this institute, this is values, so we associate with this institute. Okay, so that's it. And from my side, anecdotes. A lot of good things happened for the program. The Abhyudaya program was started with the PGPM program 2008, 05 batch at Ritambor, and they were all there in the program. There's a batch which helped me organize the entire convocation ceremony. And just 3 hours ago, I got a message from 4 hours ago. I saw that message from Sheetal that Saurabh Dwivedi has put that up on social media somewhere, mentioning about the graduation ceremony. He is from that 8-9 batch and many others. So a lot of fantastic things for this program. These are all uncut versions. And I think I'm closing with that mention which Ranjan made about design thinking program. I'm absolutely proud having been mentored by him on design thinking by Ranjan himself. And 2 of us started the program. It was in the Andheri Recreation Club. Recently I put up the first design thinking as a marshmallow challenge experiment. It came back to me on Facebook as a reminder. So it'll always stay. It started with the program, and that's amazing memories I have. That's all from my side. Life is full of challenges. Life is full of idiosyncrasies. Life is full of contrast. So many contrasts, and you have to live through these contrasts is my message from my day. Do the simple things. Doing the simple things is the most difficult, and that is why people try to do a lot of complex things. Try and do simple things. A lot of simple things. Break it down, and that's what my last message. Thank you so much. Thank you, team, and over to you from the controls.
Thank you, sir, for taking us down the memory lane. While we were on the memory lane, we asked some of our alumni how their day looked like during PGPM. What came out was very unique. Without giving you any clues about it, let's watch this special video by our PGPM alumni.
मैं गुमसुम हूँ इन राहों की तरह, तेरे ख्वाबों में, तेरी ख्वाहिशों में छुपा, ना जाने क्यों है रोज़ का सिलसिला, तू रूह की है दास्तां, तेरे जुल्फों की ये नमी, तेरी आँखों का दिल में तुम हो छुपी, हम हैं शहर की परछाइयाँ, तेरे जुल्फों की ये नमी, तेरी आँखों का ये नशा, यहाँ खो भी जाऊँ तो मैं, क्या कसूर है मेरा, तेरे सांसों की रात है, तेरे होठों की है सुबह, यहाँ खो भी जाऊँ तो मैं, क्या कसूर है मेरा, क्या कसूर है मेरा, क्या कसूर है मेरा.
Thank you guys for creating that wave of nostalgia. It is rightly said that poetry is when an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found words. Along the same lines, we bring to you the thoughts of a PGPM student in the form of a poem recited by our alumnus Arnab Paliwal from the 2017 batch.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to all on this 15th anniversary of PGPM program. I'm proud to be the part of this SPJIMR family. And on this occasion, I want to share my thoughts in the form of a short poem, which later we turned into PGPM song also, and we performed during our college days. So here it goes. कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए हैं, कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए हैं, जो है अंदर बोलता वो बताने आए हैं. कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए हैं, जो है अंदर बोलता वो बताने आए हैं. फासले खींचे हैं मंजिल ने कई, फासले खींचे हैं मंजिल ने कई, उन सभी को यहाँ मिटाने आए हैं. कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए हैं. ज़मीं नई बनाई है नए आसमां के लिए, ज़मीं नई बनाई है नए आसमां के लिए, जिद फिर कोई लगाई है बेहतर जहां के लिए. ज़मीं नई बनाई है नए आसमां के लिए, जिद फिर लगाई है बेहतर जहां के लिए. सोच की सरहदें अब बढ़ाने आए, कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए. मुश्किल तो लगे नामुमकिन नहीं. लेट नाइट असाइनमेंट्स, ग्रुप वर्क्स, मॉर्निंग क्लासेस, फीडबैक्स, running with coffee in one hand and sandwich in another. It was tough. मुश्किल तो लगे नामुमकिन नहीं, तेज लहरों पे चले है मोहसिन वही. मुश्किल तो लगे नामुमकिन नहीं, जो तेज लहरों पे चले है मोहसिन वही. सो गया था बचपन वो जगाने आए हैं, कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए हैं. सबके अपने हुनर हैं, सब अलग हैं यहाँ. Students coming from different backgrounds, different industries, different experiences, sitting under one roof and exchanging ideas, and I guess that's the unique and most lovely part about this program. सबके अपने हुनर हैं, सब अलग हैं यहाँ. पकी सी उम्र है पर मलंग है यहाँ. सबके अपने हुनर हैं, सब अलग हैं यहाँ. थोड़ी पकी सी उम्र है, मलंग है यहाँ. जिंदगी के तजुर्बे सुनाने आए हैं, जिंदगी के तजुर्बे सुनाने आए हैं. कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए, कुछ छूटा सा था उसे पाने आए. Thank you guys and all the best. Thank you.
Wow, that was so relatable and it touched my soul. Thank you for writing such a beautiful piece. To take the event forward, I would call upon our Head of Alumni Relations, Professor Ratika Gore. She is an alumnus of PGDM class of 1997 and has over 20 years of experience, global experience in education and running businesses in USA, Europe, and Southeast Asia. She teaches communication and design thinking and is also a consultant. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Akshi. I must say I'm really enjoying this event. You guys have really worked hard, and I'm sure there's more to follow. Maybe, I think I'm the last quarter of this week, about to end, right? But I think this is my favorite part of the the event today. So I am going to invite 3 alumni from around the world to just share what they remembered about the campus. And we've already gone this nostalgic trip. So I'm going to first request Pratik Jain to, who's logging in from Boston. He's a practice manager at Amazon. And I believe his nickname on campus was Nautanki, because he had done an impromptu play competition in, of course, where else, but PG Lab. So Pratik, love to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. This is Pratik Jain joining from Boston. I'm from the PGPM 508 batch. So that's 2009, exactly 11 years from now. So I'm still saving my shirt. I don't wash it often, so so that I can still keep it. So I was asked to share some memory about the course, and one thing that I really cherished a lot was the simulation exercises. We did 2 of them. I was part of the information management batch, so we did one with Renuka ma'am, and we did one with Prem Chandrani sir. I also did one more in the OJAS, the annual festival for the operations management event. And I loved those simulation exercises. It was all around how do you really run a business, right, without getting into the risk of running a business. And we could apply so many different courses that we did. We could apply financial marketing, to see how the balance sheets are matching or not matching. We could apply product strategy to create a product roadmap. We could apply marketing. We could apply entrepreneurial, the courses that we took, just all in that one simulation exercise and really running the business. And it was so much fun with my batchmates, where we were fighting for acquisition of different products. We were negotiating, acquiring each other companies. And not to mention, and Professor Prem Chandrani would remember, my group bankrupt twice in that simulation exercise. So it was a lot of fun. And I still remember one of the end of the simulation presentation was done as a spoof of Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum by one of my batchmates. So it was an awesome fun, but that's where the theory meets the practical, right? You learn all these theoretical subjects, and then when you apply to the real simulation exercise where you are considering all the economic factors, that was really coming back to life. And I enjoyed that simulation exercise, and I've applied it many, many times in my last 11 years after PGPM of career. So that's very close to my memory. Thank you, ma'am. Back to you.
Thanks, Pratik. I'm going to invite Ishita Biswas, who's logged in from Munich in Germany. She is currently a manager for tech consulting at Accenture. And I did ask her, I said, tell me something fun about you, which I can tell the guest today. And she said, she kind of sheepishly admitted that she won Miss Freshers title in first year of graduation. The only thing is she said thrice. So that's a mystery, but Ishita, would love to hear about what you remember about the college.
Hi, thanks, Ratika ma'am, and hello, everyone. And before I begin, I'd like to wish a very happy Teachers' Day to all the professors here. It was a great experience being part of this program and having interacted with all of you. So yes, I'm living right now in Munich for the last 4 years, and goes without saying that for me, the most important or the most influential part of the program was the international immersion. As part of our batch, we went to Michigan in the Ellie Broad School, and I was the batch co-co, so the course coordinator, along with another batchmate, and under the guidance of Chandrani sir in Keys. So for me, this was the first time an experience of traveling outside of India, and I'm thankful that my entire ops batch was there together, because when it's a completely foreign environment, so new, it's good to have something familiar around you. And I would say, having lived outside India now for a few years, there are many things that I've learned from this experience, personally and professionally. And there are 3 learnings that I'd like to share with you today. So the first one is the education system in Michigan State University. So that is a little bit different from a typical Indian education system. I mean, it's primarily, I think, more to do with the kind of control or the kind of system that they have. So in India, we are used to, studying inside a classroom. There is a discipline, there is silence, there is who has to go what, where. It's a kind of a controlled environment. But in MSU, I felt that there was quite often that there was not a professor in class. We were expected to submit some assignments, and It was up to us whether we want to sit in class or we want to go out for a walk or we just want to stay in our hotel rooms, and this is fine as long as the result is delivered on time, as long as our assignments are completed. And nobody actually in the campus really cared whether we are present or if there's any FaceTime happening with the professor, as long as the work is being delivered, and if there is questions, of course, come to the teacher and ask. And I see this a lot also in my current work environment, because I mean, I've worked in India before my MBA also, and there is a concept in the corporate world where there is, the FaceTime, where you have to sit in the office till your boss is there, and this culture exists a lot, but it doesn't exist so much here in Germany, at least, or in my industry, because here it's the result that matters. So I don't have anywhere to complain if I'm working late nights, because it's my decision to take that call. And this is something I experienced in this program. The second one was the awareness that we have some Indian tendencies. So by that I mean, so first of all, I think most of you might be familiar, we do this nod. And I used to do this quite often. And there was this very incident when there was, so we were in class and I was the Coco, and Keith was standing right in the front of the class and I was in the back, and he kept asking me, will you collect the assignments and send it over to my office? And I kept doing it. And he didn't understand. And I think all of you here would understand, but this was also a learning that we have body language, we have tendencies which the outside world doesn't necessarily understand. And talking about tendencies, we also have the innate ability to do jugaad. So we did this, I remember during this immersion program, one evening we decided to do a barbecue near the college campus. And it just took us a few hours of planning, and everyone volunteered and everyone brought in something, and someone was cooking, someone was cleaning, but it just took a little bit of organization, and we had a beautiful barbecue, quite memorable, fun times. But to do something like this now, like where I'm living in Germany, this would be impossible to find out in a few hours. I mean, here there has to be a structure, there has to be a system, people have to be told who is doing what, when, so everything is very systematized. And I also see this in my consulting projects, because with clients, especially in the manufacturing industry where I'm working, if there's something I want to deliver in terms of a consulting project, there has to be a very clear structure to it, a system, there has to be a target definition. And this is also something I learned during this program, and which I can apply here straight one-to-one. And the third learning, which I would all like to share, is that this international immersion program taught me team building like I'd never seen before. I mean, I think my fondest memories of PGPM, of working together with the batch, really showed how we all came together with the daunting logistics of the visa and the travel, and also even teaching each other how public transport works in the Midwest, for example, or cooking together when we're all feeling homesick and so on. So it's nothing bonds people than going through something so foreign together, like literally and metaphorically. So I think these were the main learnings I had. So, and yeah, before I close, I'd like to congratulate the batch for 15 years of completion. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Ishita. Those are lovely thoughts. So the last alumnus is the next student of mine, very wacky, I believe. He's also doing a very interesting job. So Nikun Jain, logging in from Mumbai, Innovation Manager at Mahindra Rise. And I believe he loves doodling when he's in a meeting. And in fact, what I heard from him some time back was that he used these sketches once in a pitch that he made in Cornell. So Nikun, do you have something to share with us today?
So thank you very much. It's great to kind of be here, and happy Teachers Day to everybody. And 15 years is an amazing amount of run rate, as well as the number of memories everybody has. And for me, the takeaway, and I think building on what Prateek and Ishita mentioned, like each class that we have been through, that has given us a different perspective. We have had to wear different hats. As Professor Das talked about design thinking, how do you apply ideation or understanding the challenge? We have PG Lab for introspection of what are we made of, what are the core values we believe in. And then we have the consulting case study classes. Everyone remembers Professor Prem Chandrani, how we had to apply critical thinking and understand what the core of the problem is. Now, when I look back and now being at Mahindra, with corporate strategy and now with innovation, it's these different hats, like these different core strengths that SPJIMR has taught. Like, how do you look at one problem from different lenses, the different kind of problem statements that arise? So how can you kind of apply all this put together at one challenge statement? And I think that was one very key takeaway I have. And I still remember, every time any project that's given, how do I apply design thinking? What would Professor Chandrani say about the critical thinking aspect of it? And of course, with Mahindra being a very a reputable organization, what does it mean for the people applying self-introspection? So all through, I have really taken the core message of PGPM and SPJIMR and applied it all through the 4 years working with Mahindra. So it's been a great journey, and I always reflect back to PGPM. Thank you, Professor.
Thanks, Nikunj. So I know we run over by 18 minutes, but I think this has been very interesting today. I think we'll finish in the next 5 to 6 minutes now. I do have something to say as in the role that I'm playing right now with Head of Alumni Relations. But before that, I realized Dr. Anshul Verma is back with us. I know Professor Nilendra had asked him to come and say hello. He's Associate Program Head for PGPM. Anshul, can you just say hello quickly?
Hello.
So
Sorry, I was not there at that time, but hello.
Thanks, Anshul. So I just want to make a very simple point. So I had 2-3 minutes, but I'll finish in 1 minute. So today we have seen alumni. It was so wonderful to see alumni plugging in from all parts of the world. Across every single batch is represented today. And I know at one time we touched 374 today. And it's a wonderful feeling. I think the only thing I'd like to say is that PGPM is a very strong network. But right now it's not together. And that's what we are trying to do. So the network is strong. It needs to be visible and it needs to be accessible to all. So in that spirit, we had launched a portal 2 or 3 months back. Many of you are there. So within first 1 month, we had 6,000 signups. But my only request is, I know there's a lot of nostalgia. You know where the college is going. I know Professor Pawar has made a very interesting point on alumni have to co-create this brand with, the program will be leaning into and we'll be working with the alumni. For that, please come on the portal, champion it with your batchmates, update your posts. I don't expect you to come every day, okay? But when you need, let that be your first port of call, right? So there are job opportunities, there are content, there's articles, there's a lot of good stuff going on there. So I'm going to request my office to send you a link on that. And the second thing that the Alcom told me today is that they are opening a Telegraph account for PGPM. So I think that will be very active on a day-to-day basis. I've seen myself, I'm part of 45 WhatsApp groups across many programs across the world. And I know it's beautiful the way they work with the new alumni in the camp, in the city, opening doors, opening business partnerships. I think that's what networking is. So my request is when we send the mail out, if you've not logged in, please go onto the portal. Second is, please join the Telegram. It's important to be in this network. So that's my only appeal, single pointed. I'll not tell you anything more. There's lots more I usually talk about. And on that note, I also want to say every single performance today, every single event or the segment of today's event has been done by the students, the current participants from alumni committee, the participant boards, the PR committee. You've seen the campaign on social media, all the video editing, everything has been done by volunteers from the batch. And I couldn't have been prouder. And I'm so, so proud of you guys. Thank you so much, first of all. And I think there's 2 small, quick videos they're going to show, which will take you to a different orbit only, okay? So I'm going to give it back to Biku. So take it over, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It is really heartening to know that even after many years, the memories of the college remain strong. In fact, I was thinking when I'm an alumnus, I would definitely remember our professors who have touched our lives. And today is Teachers' Day. So here is a small tribute.
So please try to spot your favorite professors. There's a whole lot of new faces, but lots of familiar ones too.
We have met our professors. We thought it would be great to introduce ourselves to you too. We bring to you a glimpse of batch of 2020 while you enjoy a beautiful song sung by the singers of our batch.
रहे या ना रहे कल कल याद आएंगे ये पल पल ये है प्यार के पल चल आ मेरे संग चल चल छोटी सी है जिंदगी कल मिल जाए तो होगी खुश नसीब हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे ये पल हम रहे या ना रहे कल कल याद आएंगे ये पल पल ये है प्यार के पल चल आ मेरे संग चल चल सोचे क्या छोटी सी जिंदगी कल मिल जाए तो होगी खुश नसीब हम रहे या ना रहे याद आएंगे ये पल शाम का चल ओढ़ के आई देखो मोरा सुहानी
This is who we are. You have paved the road for us. We hope to see you soon in the industry. As we move towards the closing of the program, we hope to have created some nostalgia and made you relive your days on campus. But before we say goodbye, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our beloved alumni for spending their time with us on a weekend and for their continued support and guidance throughout these years. We would like to thank our Dean, Dr. Ranjan Banerjee, and all the esteemed faculty for being the part of the event. I would also like to thank the Alumni Relations Committee, the Public Relations Committee, the Student Participant Board, and the participants of 2020 batch for their huge efforts in making it such an unforgettable event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Jayashree ma'am and the complete IT team for the seamless virtual experience. Thank you everyone for being the part of this 15-year journey. Hope to see you all soon. Until then, have a nice weekend and stay safe. Goodbye.